That A? What's that? Oh, we'll talk about it later. Hey, everybody, we're live.
We're promoting people? What's going on here?
I just see that our producer has got a title in front of his name, even though no one ever sees him. I'm just like, wait, did we? I don't remember talking about that. I hope it doesn't come with any pay, because that would be ludicrous. Welcome to the Mid-Geek Crisis.
We pay things in bison bucks here.
Bison bucks.
Episode 8. No. I have 37 in the title. Do I have 37 in the title?
I'm pretty sure it's like
God,
88 or 89. This is our
87. Apparently 3 and 8 are exactly the same for me. It's episode 87
yeah,
of the Mid-Geek Crisis. And for some reason, I have it labeled as 37 because I am dyslexic in all ways, shape, or form.
People are going to think we're time traveling to a better time back a year ago almost, when we were not locked in our basements.
Oh my God.
Crisis. Roll credits. Let's go.
Roll credit. Let's go. Let's do this. Boop, 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 boop. Inputting codes here and go.
Awesome.
My kiddo just got an achievement.
Your kid just got Chivo? What did you do?
It popped up to he got the achievement till all are one. He's been playing Transformers what is it, Devastation or whatever the platinum game, the like beat 'em up. Anyway, he's been on a Transformer kick.
Nice.
Like, Dad, can I watch Transformers the movie? And I was like, which one? And he's like, the 80s one. And I was like, yes, you can. And so he watched that, and then of course he watched.
Has he watched all of the TV show? Does he like get the arcs already?
So he's watched a lot of the TV show, but he was younger when he watched it. But then the kicks actually started off. He was watching Rescue Bots, right? And then he was the kitty one, right? Right.
Sure, I get it.
But he likes it. He likes that Optimus Prime and Bumblebee show up, and then he was watching like the new version of that, which is like something Academy, like Rescue Academy or something, where like they're younger bots, and so the rescue bots from the first few seasons are now even older, and so they're teaching like a younger group of bots to be helpers.
Jesus, I had no idea their Transformers universe was so rich.
I know it's so rich. It actually, I enjoy it. I'm like, this is going. It's
wait. You have very low standards.
I do. I have very low standards. I was enjoying the canon. But then they went and started watching some of the new Netflix Transformers show that just launched, and so
I saw that's like number 6 in the country for some reason. We got Caleb and Tim both agreeing that the Michael Bay movies are ugh, just mad, too dialogue. I've never heard that about a Michael Bay film. So they talk too much in this movie full of explosions.
And this is not going to be a hot take here, but I will say that the first 5 minutes of Bumblebee is the greatest bit of Transformers cinema ever made.
So that's all I need to watch, is what you're saying, the first 5 minutes.
I mean, first off, Bumblebee, that Bumblebee movie, that reboot of the Bay movies or whatever that they did is phenomenal. It's a fantastic movie. Great coming of age story, good setting in the 80s. Yeah, totally. Bumblebee, really fantastic movie. Like tears, like that type, like those 80 Meet the Alien kind of movies. That's what that Bumblebee movie was. But the first 5 minutes of that movie is absolutely phenomenal. It is essentially the entire origin of the Transformers and when they came to Earth, but it's all done in G1, like Generation 1 style CGI. So Optimus Prime doesn't look like he looks like in the Michael Bay movies. He looks like Generation 1 Optimus Prime in like super realistic CGI.
Is that the one we grew up with, Generation 1?
Okay.
All right. Okay.
I mean, it looks phenomenal. I mean, Starscream, and you've got it's amazing. All
right. There you go. Big pitch for a movie that was out 5 years ago.
Oh, I mean, we saw it at the theaters. It was great. My kiddos just started diving into all the Transformers. So
that's awesome.
He watched the first Michael Bay one, and he was like, eh. And he went back and started watching the cartoons and whatnot. So
there you go. Good for him. And now he just got an achievement in a video game His first achievement, like under his username, so now he's got 10 points.
It's playing under mine because Xbox, the one thing Xbox.
Well, no, I'm looking forward to when I can achievement farm with my kid. That's really like the only way to get my achievement score up is to get my kids to play the game. Right?
Yes,
play those Lego games. All those kid games give the achievements easy too, but I can't stand them. So get on that, kid.
I think Xbox needs to. This is my good segue, by the way. We're segueing.
We set them up. We're on episode 87. We know how to do this.
37, right? We're time traveling. Xbox doesn't have an easy way to make accounts for kids. You can have guest accounts sign in with a controller, like grab a controller and they, hit guest and they come in, but you have to make an email address. You have to make a full ID.
The whole Xbox account thing. I mean, I've told you about my very first Xbox account, right? It was a birthday gift from my lovely wife, and she set it up as the age of 0 because she set the birth date for the account as the day she gave it to me. So I wound up locked, like I couldn't do anything, and I emailed and called. So I mean,
my
cautious out there that might be 18 years old now, right? Like there's a cautious out there because my username is cautious Clay because I can't use that anymore.
My sister, I set up her account when she was under 18, and I remember that it was locked out, and there were certain things that she just wanted to do, like download games or whatever, and if she couldn't do it, it really locked it down, which is good and bad, right? Like
makes it hard to do things, but also that's kind of good. Also, Sibley Streamer, thanks. Yes. So standing rule in this household, if another cautious shows up, you have to murder them immediately because they're obviously here to kill me, right? Future cautious will only want revenge for all the bad things past cautious has done. That's a given. Like past cautious is really screwed.
You have a completely different rule. The rule in my house.
No, I mean, at first we have to have sex, then we have to.
There we go. There we go.
Come on, I was trying to keep it kid friendly, but yeah, I mean,
fantastic. I was like, "Oh,
that's
your
a good
rule. Your rule is very different."
No, like, is my rule pervert? No, it's
same rules. Same freaking rule. Okay,
we all have the rule. Deep down inside, we all know. We're gonna like. Before we kill each other, we're gonna do this, right?
Yes. All right. Fair enough.
Anyway, Xbox. Xbox user account set up.
Yes, Xbox, man. It's been a wild few weeks for Xbox and
the
Sony
console wars are in full effect, right? Is that batten down the hatches, getting your bunkers, gamers, because these two companies are going to murder each other.
Go at it left and right. Mm-hmm. And this week, it seems like a silly bit of news. But again, we've talked about this. This war is almost like low blow constantly because there doesn't need to be a war, but it's happening either way. And Sony
like the Yankees and the Pats. Like, who cares? They don't even play in the same sport, right? They're not even in the same leagues at this point. What?
So Sony has kind of announced or kind of confirmed that PlayStation 4 controllers will not. They're just only going to work on PlayStation 4 games, which seems obvious.
Sure, the surprise of no one, right? I mean, every console we've bought I can't think of any console that had the controllers move over to the new world, right? So, or the new controller. One question I do have, right? So does that mean that I can use my PlayStation 4 controller on a PlayStation 4 game I'm playing on my PlayStation 5?
Yes. So that's definitely the one thing that you can do, right?
Can I use my PlayStation 5 controller to play my PlayStation 4 game?
No.
That feels a little weird.
That's the weird part, right?
It feels a little weird.
DualSense will work with supported PlayStation 4. So you cannot from what people are saying is the DualSense controller won't work with PlayStation 4 games.
Okay. All right. I mean, we knew that to be the case.
It cannot be used on the 5 games which are built with DualSense in mind. So basically, for quote the supported PlayStation 4 games. So that's been kind of the big what do you mean by supported? What do you mean things aren't backwards compatible? Why are you being so flaky? Why are you being so weird about what's supported and what's not supported? It looks like
it's even a problem. It's just an interface, right? Like people should be able to use any controller they need to. Plug in your keyboard at this time. Why? Like my iPhone should run my games at this point. Why?
That's crazy Microsoft talk, sir. What are you talking about? So, and of course, with that in mind, we had the fantastic tweet from Microsoft that was like showed off all these controllers and was pretty much like, "Yep, everything works." Like.
They should have had stuff that wasn't controllers there. They really should have really upped their game, like a stuffed animal, a trash can. Maybe they should have put in like a PlayStation controller just to mess with folks, right? Like
they were just totally like it's compatible with all Xbox One controllers across all games, designed for Xbox, third-party controls, everything. So what was great is it's been some great replies. People have been like, "Thank you, me and the boys." And what's been great about this particular reply was they replied themselves to that one. They replied with a Dancing Halo like group. They've been kind of going back and forth. But yeah, it's been a wild, funny ride. But I think that Twitter little burn back was great.
And this is great, right? First of all, I own 4 Xbox One controllers, right? So which totals up to it's almost as much as a console, 4 controllers, right? I mean, that's
at $240
without discount coupons and all that stuff.
So
right?
You're talking about $59 a controller.
Yeah, basically saying, "Oh, am I buying a game or a controller this month?"
Yes.
Right? I mean, that's a lot of money for controllers, which is crazy, right? Like, are we not going to get upset about this concept that controllers cost this much? Keyboards are like $8. You get them free when you go into a computer store, right? Like mice come free with everything you buy. Why are controllers so expensive?
So you get one with your, and then these controllers
don't have friends, no family, just one.
Yeah, man, we had this conversation before the show started, but I was like, I think the argument here, some people are like, "Oh, well, I mean, obviously, right? You buy a console. I mean, my Super Nintendo wasn't compatible with my NES controllers, right? But your SNES controls were also max $30 back in the day with inflation."
Yeah, and you can like drop that controller in your bathtub and it would work after you dried it out, right? Those controllers were like ridiculous.
So they're not smart controllers. They're not Bluetooth.
Yeah.
They
don't rumble. They were,
Yeah. So wired. I get all that.
You couldn't even leave the system. They were wired, right?
Yeah, right. So, I mean, that's obvious. One generation controller doesn't work with the other, but we have now crossed into again next gen. We are now far enough that these consoles are computers. These peripherals are expensive. $70 a controller, depending on the version of the controller that you get. And at that point, I would be very upset if my $70 controller doesn't work.
Yeah.
And also, you're letting me play some of these games from one system to another, but then you're not going to let me bring my controller. It just seems.
Or you could be like Nintendo, where they don't work, and you don't fix the problem. And now there's like you get Joy Drift. What do they call it? Joy-Con drift, right? It's just like, I mean, I think I have it, but I'm in denial. I know one of my controllers got the drift. I know.
Yeah, no, they're in the drift. They've been the drift. We'll talk about that, but let's talk about this. Caleb brings up a good question. Big question: will Xbox controllers have rechargeable batteries? Sony has had it for the past 2 generations as default. I don't like built-in batteries. Where do you stand on that?
Me? Well, I mean, I've never had a controller with a built-in battery, right? Because I'm an Xbox person, so I don't think I would like it. I like being able to swap it out when they stop working.
If you're in the middle of your game, you're in the middle of playing Division 2 for about 2 hours, right? You're grinding and your battery starts going bad. What do?
Oh, I usually grab another controller or I swap out the battery.
You swap out the battery, right? Yeah. Or you swap out the battery. That's what I do. I have rechargeable batteries sitting in a dock, and I go, "Oh, my controller's dying." Click, sit back down. PlayStation controllers, A, they're $70 a pop.
Mm-hmm.
B, you have to wire them to control because you can't take the battery out. Like I mean,
the extra $10 is for the battery, right? Like, I mean, it's about $10 for a rechargeable battery for your Xbox, right?
Right.
So price is comparable, but
let me change the battery. I mean, fine, let it come with a rechargeable battery, but let me pop the battery out. Like I get the argument would be.
Can we send that letter to Apple as well for my phone? Is that
absolutely? No, totally. I get it. Yeah, I am not a fan of my controllers that I use on a constant basis having built-in batteries. I think it's nice that they have it, but I don't like the fact that when it starts blinking, it happens all the time. And the PlayStation 4 controllers are awful battery hogs.
It happens all the time when you're like, "Oh, I finally get 30 minutes to play. I'm going to sit down and play," and the controller's out of battery.
You turn it on, you turn on the system, and then all of a sudden it's blinking in the top left-hand corner that it's low on battery. I'm like, Oh, come on. Like seriously?
Gonna play my Xbox instead. Is
Yeah,
basically.
that's what I do. I go, I turn it off, and I go grab my Xbox controller. I'm like, oh look, this works. Oh wait, battery's low on this one. Let me just swap it out.
Mhm.
I don't want to pull out a big 20-foot micro USB cord. It just makes no sense.
Charge it up. No, it doesn't. I mean, it's in theory, it's a convenience, but they don't. It's not a convenience for people who game hard.
Right. I get that. You're right. I think the battery life on the Nintendo controllers are fantastic. The Pro controller has a great battery life. I think they charge it like once a month.
Isn't that one $60 too, though?
Yeah, it's about $50. That one's a $50 controller. But again, that one's optional. But then again, their Joy-Cons are $70 for the pair.
I know.
With drift included.
With drift free. The drift they throw the drift in. So $90 once you send it to your friend in Texas to repair it.
So I've got I was gonna show them, and I don't have them anymore. I literally have a baggie full of.
I mean, you've got to buy your what are they called, sticks in bulk, because you have like 35 Joy-Con controllers in your house, right?
I have three pair, including the light. And
3 pair, but don't 4 people live in your house?
Well, 3 people and the light, so the light hasn't built in, right? So
all right.
But yeah, I've got a set right here that have drift. This one's got drift on it, like it'll just start walking automatically. So
you can just pop it out and put a new stick in there.
It takes me 5 minutes to do. Yeah. I've gotten fast enough to do it, but
that's the video you got to put up when you're doing some repairs.
Yeah, I'm gonna do one.
Joy-Con drift. That's a big lots of folks out there.
Yeah, they're
be public service.
Get yourself their Amazon. I mean, they're gonna go bad, even the replacement ones. It's a bad design. I've talked about it before. The way they work is they kind of like pivot, but they're real thin. Like the actual like the actual like part that is the controller is like this thin. It's just like a pancake, and everything in there just grinds away, and it eventually just starts drifting. The membranes in there just stick. And I'm waiting for Nintendo to. I mean, they've acknowledged it. They'll repair yours for free. The problem is it's like a 3-4 week like turnaround period.
Yep.
So
who's got that luxury when you gotta celebrate fireworks every week on Sundays, right?
Right.
Get those Beatles. Animal Crossing. What's going on?
Man, so how are you enjoying that new update?
It was fun. My daughter and we enjoyed the first firework update. I was really disappointed that I couldn't just buy fireworks. Like, she was upset that she got a bubble blow. I got the bubble blower and she got like a sparkler. Like, it's weird.
You didn't sit there for like 15 minutes and just feed all that money that you have that you don't know.
Yeah, but how many times do you have to press A to do that? It's like 7.
Turbo. I literally was like, hold R for fast text and then turbo, and was like,
it's still like 10 minutes to buy 12 items. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is crazy.
So I wound up giving away the bubble blower. I like that they put a trash can right there.
Thank you for bringing that up, Silly. Have you tripped yet?
No, I have not tripped.
You haven't tripped in the game?
No.
So it looks like Animal Crossing has a luck system built in now.
Like you're gonna luckily fall, or
yes, you can now trip in the game randomly if you're running around.
Isn't the world filled with enough bad luck? Animal Crossing it should only be good luck in Animal Crossing.
So this happened to me. I tested it out and it worked. And if you're running around and trip, you lose your balloon.
Yes! That is terrifying.
I know. I did it on purpose. I had seen this tweet and I was like, what? But there's also a cursed mask.
I think it would break my girl's heart if she lost her balloon that way, though. There's a cursed mask as well.
When you trip, you might get inspired to build a item.
Like a helmet?
Yes, and so you end up building a King Tut mask. And apparently the King Tut mask makes you fall a lot. It is a really bad luck item.
Oh my gosh! And you build this for yourself? I'm gonna have to do this. This is gonna crack my daughter up. She's gonna love it. That is amazing.
But I was like,
I
was sitting there talking with Jordan, our producer, before the show. I was like, who? Like, do we need this? Like, who was the programmer that's like, all right, we're not gonna add tripping. Like, that was one thing that everyone hated. So tripping has a weird history with Nintendo. Smash Brothers on Nintendo Wii. It's a skill game. Like it's almost like an esport, right? People play it but randomly they randomly made your character in Smash Brothers Trip, which ruined. Like you could lose a match because you trip, and so you're in the middle of a combo and you'd be like, you just trip, and like, what? So people literally like hacked the game to remove the trip, and it's been in no other version of the game. But
they just put it in to annoy people.
They put it in to annoy this. So why? Like, what was the reasoning? Like, why would this? Like, why would you have like Mega Man? You know, like yes, you know, or why would you have you know, just like Samus? You know, she's like this warrior, you know, badass. And I was like, boop, she trips. Like, what? Why?
Because I wanted to destroy something beautiful.
I know. That's exactly like.
Because Nintendo trolls, right? Yeah. That's what they do. Nintendo trolls. Better than anyone else, they troll.
Zombie Wolf Gold Nugget, I'll give you the recipe. I have many gold nuggets, but I need 30 gold nuggets because I am 8 nuggets away from my robot. Or at least I need my gold armor first because I need someone to make the gold armor.
I've got the gold toilet. Can I give you want that? I can give you the gold toilet.
Nintendo is a great equalizer. They really are, man. That's a good way of putting it because right now seeing these like the Titans, the high def Titans go at it, Nintendo's like, we've got Animal Crossing.
Also, we've got all the games you have on our Switch.
Yeah. They're like, what? Indie games? We got them.
Have you done the dream sequence yet? I haven't done any dream sequences yet. I guess Nintendo's coming down hard on the folks that have hacked their Animal Crossing game to grow stars on their trees. A lot of folks out there upset about that. We just talked about hacks like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, right? And who does it harm? But it harms Nintendo, apparently.
Well, what I don't understand is, okay, so I haven't done the dream stuff enough, but is it just for inspiration?
Yeah.
Like you're just going to someone else's island and walk around and look at stuff.
Yep, but they don't have to be online, which is kind of nice.
Right. You just
they're like, I visited my friend's island and they had such a cool setup. Let me go check it out. You can now do that with the dream sequences.
Yeah, I just like, you know what would be cool? It allowed you to catalog some things.
It does allow you to catalog things.
It does?
It's down on the ground. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So what if they drop it on the ground, you can pick it up and then you catalog it?
I'm pretty sure that's what they said. And since I remember seeing someone writing about that when they visit islands to catalog stuff, their island was like banned because they have the star stuff and the broken hacked trees or whatever they do. So yeah, there's a couple things you can do in the dreams that you couldn't do. And like Sibling Streamer said, you can visit celebrity islands now too, right? They don't have to give away their name and things like that. And
Elijah Wood's island. Yeah, I guess so. Speaking of Elijah Wood, that's a great segue. Thank you. Man, we're on a roll here. Monday. Again, this might not be Monday. Was the pre-order for the Analog Pocket?
Oh, I saw that a lot of folks did not get it because
I didn't get it.
That's a shame.
Yeah. So the Analog Pocket, I've talked about, I talk about retro gaming and I go on tangents. I try not to, so I'm not going to. But
we'll have the producer limit you here.
Yeah. The Analog Pocket is a FPGA based Game Boy. It is a clone FPGA system, which means that it's cycle accurate. So it is exactly with all of the timings and music and everything that is a Game Boy.
So you plug in your Game Boy cartridge,
right? So it plays cartridges. It'll play cartridges. It'll play Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, and then you can also buy adapters so that you can play Game Gear, Atari Lynx, and so no emulation to FPGA, a Neo Geo Pocket Color, Atari Lynx, and more. And it's a great handheld. It's going to have this great screen.
For like the 50 people that got it, right? Is that
right? So it's an FPGA system, again, resolution of 16. So it's going to be really sharp Gorilla Glass. Here are the adapters, pop in your old games. I mean, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful looking system, well designed. They've made other systems before. They've made the Mega SG and the Super NT, which are again 2 FPGA. Anyway, it's $199. They announced this thing 10 months ago, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then a week ago, last Monday, they were like, 3 days before Monday, they were like, the 27th, be here, 8:00. 8 Pacific or whatever. So you hopped on, and all it was them telling you. It was a teaser for the teaser of them telling you. By the way, the pre-orders open up next Monday, so everyone was prepared.
Is it old black and white games as well? Rolls is asking.
All black and white, all color, everything. It'll if it's a black and white, if it's an original Game Boy game, it's not gonna have color, but you can choose different palettes. You'll be able to play it like a Super Nintendo, like a Super Game Boy, where it'll have the Super Game Boy palettes. But see,
there it goes, right there. Yeah, answer to your question, Rules. There you go. And also, I don't want Zombie Wolf Lord to get missed here, but you could also sometimes collect patterns on islands in the Dream Islands. So
there you go. I'm going to try that. I'm going to try it out.
Those Dream Islands. I mean, I haven't done it yet. I'm holding it off, right?
Yeah.
I gotta consume content in bite pieces with my daughter so that I can extend it between patches. Look at that original display mode too. You could play the old green and black.
Yeah, you can turn on the green and black with the grid lines. I mean, it's a
folks
great.
seem pretty upset that they couldn't get one of these.
So yeah, I mean, so also the nice part is it's got a dock, so you can dock it and you can play these games.
Our standards are really low, dude. It's
a great case.
Beautiful case.
You can program. So one of the big things about this as well is it's going to have a dev open, so people can make games. It'll probably be hacked. You'll probably be able to play all sorts of stuff on it. I mean, it's gonna be a wild system. It is definitely an amazing system. I'm mad that I didn't get one, but I'm not mad that I didn't get one. I'm mad of the way of what happened. So here we have Elijah Wood tweeted out. Directly to Analog, somehow lost mine while waiting for shipping to load, and they're all sold out. And that's exactly what happened to me. Their inventory system was crap. It sold out in 6 minutes after a 10-month waiting period, after a 1-week hype up, from telling us the day that it was going to happen, then making people wait another week, only to show up exactly at 10 o'clock Central Time, 11 o'clock, etc. Showed up exactly at the right time, put it in my cart. I had it in my cart. I was checking out. I hit calculated shipping. It took 5 minutes to calculate the shipping.
And it was gone.
By the time I hit pay, it pulled it out of my cart and said that it's sold out. That's what made people so angry. I mean, it was the fact that it was like, hey, like what modern inventory system doesn't allow you to, like, once you pull it into your cart, at least hold it for a few minutes while you try to pay. Like all ticketing systems, major event things, you hold.
It probably did, right? I mean, usually it's like 12 minutes. Usually you get 12 minutes to go find your credit card to get the
right. Well, I've had it like
a timer and it ticks.
Yeah. Usually it's like a 5
No, I mean, we're nerds. This isn't our first time buying something online that's going to be limited. We know how it works.
So it made no sense.
It very frustrating experience.
So I mean, I didn't get to throw money at them. The sad part is I didn't get one. The funny part is this product doesn't release till May of next year.
Mm-hmm.
It is a pre-order that sold out when nothing has been made yet.
Yeah, no, I'm really sad that you weren't able to give this company money for nothing.
Exactly.
For a year.
Exactly.
It's like a Kickstarter, but not.
Right. But what makes it even worse is this is a Kickstarter for a product they announced 10 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So they've had 10 months of R&D and to maybe make the product. And now they're like, oh, now it's for sale or pre-order, only for you to have to wait another.
I mean, I say this to you now. I make fun of you now, but reach out to me in a couple of days when Dwarven Forge has their Wildlands Kickstarter, and I'm all like, take my money.
So let's.
I'll wait a whole year for your awesome terrain goodness.
Let's take a look for.
It's outdoors, man. It's all trees and forests and swamps and Dwarven Forge, and I can't wait to spend way too much money on it.
Well, I mean, what does it look like? And by the way, if you wanna rage a little more with me here,
are there already the pre-orders on eBay? Yep. How much is it actually?
It's $199.
Yeah. This is everything that's wrong with gamers. Everything that's wrong with them.
Yep. $1,200.
Well, yeah, $1,200 today. Oh, the $652. What a $332. What a deal!
So there are some bids like that one $332, 4 bids. Okay, fair. But
that person's going to resell it for $1,200.
If you notice, nothing in the big range has even got a bid on it.
No,
so
of course not. Why would anyone?
$599? Buy it now.
How many Game Boy shells can you buy for $1,200 to play these old games?
Right. So I can build
Game Boys. Can you
and not only that, I could build a Game Boy. I could build a Game Boy with a modern screen, a Game Boy Advance with a modern screen, and a Game Boy Color with a modern screen for
$1,200. Do you know how much Door Forge I can buy with that? Like 1 or 2 pieces.
1 or 2 pieces.
That's not true. I love you guys, Nate. Please.
Yes. Thank you. Hold on. We totally missed it. Here. What is that? Hey.
So yeah.
Oh, by the way, hey, that's my cousin. He's saying hi. Saludos. Yes, we got to make sure we call that out.
It's killing us all. Sibling stream.
Boom, baby. We can't miss a beat on this show. We have.
Speaking of capitalism, killing us. Sibling streamer played Zoo Tycoon earlier today on their stream. Brother sister, and sister absolutely crushed brother in a game of Zoo Tycoon because brother was just giving it away. He just can't manage a zoo, trying to make money.
Wasn't there a Matt Damon movie about this? No, what?
No, but there was a Netflix documentary about selling animals, which is what brother had to do, right? That was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. It was quite the train wreck watching it happen. By the end, he was shaking a can and asking for tips so he could buy a rock for his bison.
So I'm gonna call it Joe Exotic over here.
Wasn't it just? It was the only tiger you had, though. That's the sad part.
By the way, how much did that tiger sell for in the game?
It sells for less than what you buy it for, so he was not playing capitalism correctly, for the record.
400. Joe Exotic was selling baby tigers for 2,000.
Anyway, it's good. They're on at 8:00 next week, Tuesday. They're going to play a Zoo Tycoon again. This time, it's the real one, brother versus sister. Zoo Tycoon. Whoever makes the most money has the most clients, and I guess keeps the animals the most happy. But that's like third place in Zoo Tycoon. Great show. Good stuff. It's at 8:00.
So let's bring this back real quick. One more thing launching here today or yesterday. I guess maybe it was today. Today we had an announcement from Microsoft. We are getting XCloud. Project XCloud is finally launching.
Great.
It'll be bundled as part of the Ultimate Pass. So again, Game Pass.
I already got it. That's great.
Launching on Android first started, but it will be on iPhone and iPad users will have to wait for a little bit. But once it comes out, essentially you could take your console, your iPad.
I might have to upgrade my iPad. I think I've got.
It's streaming, right? So
yeah.
it's not using any horsepower on your actual device. Here's the best part, though. Over 100 games are already going to be there. And so let's talk about what other cloud service allows you to play games on the cloud, but you have to buy the games.
Wait, you have to buy the games on the Stadia?
Yeah, you have to buy full price. Full price.
I don't understand how they thought that system would work. Also, who lives like this? 3 little kids on the windowsill? Come on. This is ridiculous.
But they've got all these partnered controllers.
Oh my God, look at that view. You know I'm an old man when I'm not even looking at the controllers. Look at these gorgeous backyards. Look at that view. These people do not need to be streaming games. They could be affording systems. They're the ones who have...
Look at this view. That's $1 million view in New York.
There's shots of me, reaction videos of me being like, look at the one. Where are you playing? You're playing in Brooklyn on the rocks, really? Oh my God! It's unbelievable, unbelievable. But yeah, this is exciting. I already have the Xbox Ultimate, so I'm good to go.
You don't need another controller.
I don't. I'm excited for that. I don't need another controller. PlayStation 4 controllers will not work with this system.
No, actually, you can dock a PlayStation 4 controller onto a iOS device, and I think it'll work with this.
Oh my gosh, I can dock my PlayStation controller onto my
so you can sync it. Yes, it'll show up.
Play Xbox games.
Yeah, I don't see
what a beautiful world we live in. What a beautiful world. I love it. Way to go.
One more thing, real quick, we got to talk about it since we announced that is
give yourself a shout out there. Yes,
this bad boy right here. Look at that. What was it? If you watched us last Wednesday, I talked right there at the 1 hour 18-minute mark. I mentioned, why didn't they announce this? Where was Battletoads, man? Where was it? And 24 hours later, they were like,
"Oh, right, Joe's calling us out. We better announce this." So who cares about Battletoads but 40-year-old gamers? For the record, 40-year-old hardcore gamers, because this game was
this
not.
This looks fun.
It looks fun. It looks great.
Like some people were like, I don't like the art style. I'm like, you know what? It looks zany. It allows them to like really do the cartoony effect.
Is this hand drawn? That's really amazing.
Very hand drawn. Very like
3-player couch co-op. Why
3-player couch co-op, man? Remember, because Battletoads were not Ninja Turtles. They didn't have four turtles. They had 3 toads.
3 toads. 3 toads. Not 4 toads. 3 toads. How could I forget? How could I forget the deep and rich history and arcane knowledge of the Battletoads?
The Battletoads, absolutely.
Definitely not Teenage
Mutant. It was totally a
knockoff at all.
We need fighting reptiles of some sort or amphibians back in the. But look, it has like different modes where it changes style.
It looks. Whoa. Bullet hell?
Yeah, it goes from a bullet hell to like a retro to like a
to the most hated levels of all. Yes. Okay. Yeah. No, it looks great. It looks looks like a Galaga. What is this?
Yeah. And it launches August 20th, like out of freaking nowhere. Why? Because Xbox is like the next gen starts like when we say it. So they're like, here are our release games.
Xbox is like, you're all trapped at home. What else are you gonna do?
Here you go. Boom. August 20th.
That's awesome. Good for them.
Yes.
Who only has 2 other friends? What I want to know is who only has 2 other friends they can invite over to play on the couch, because I want to go where they're living. Right? That's what I like to do is play some couch co-op games with just 2 friends.
Just 2 friends. Yeah.
Just 2 friends.
6 feet apart.
2 trusted people I can play with.
My wireless controller at max, like
at max at 6 feet apart. Yeah.
There you go. Man, speaking of being at home and we're just firing through this news here, but let's get topical here. Movies. We've got today we announced Mulan is being released. It's have you heard about this model, what they're doing here?
Are they charging money for it? Not $30.
Right.
$30 seems like a lot.
Well, we talked about this, right? It's a movie that they invested a ton of money into. But here's the thing. Mulan will be heading directly to Disney Plus, but there's a catch. It's not part of the subscription. You have to have Disney Plus to even buy it.
So you already have to be paying for Disney Plus.
And then you have to pay the $30 extra. It's like an in-app purchase.
So you got to be in the walled garden to spend money at the gift shop. Okay, all right. I probably won't do it. I don't. Yeah. I mean, there's no probably about it.
I mean, do you even have Disney Plus?
Yeah, I got Disney Plus.
Oh, well, I didn't know that you had gotten it.
I mean, I've got an access to Disney Plus.
There you go.
Yar.
So you don't want to be the one that buys the $30. Maybe you should be the one that hits okay on buying the $30 movie. I'm just saying. I like.
Happy birthday to the 4 strangers on this login screen that I don't know.
No. Yes. Okay. So Rolls, this is going on to my big we've been talking about this and I have talked about this. Mulan might not be my movie, but $30 is still cheaper than taking both of my kids and buying popcorn at an actual movie theater. And that's Texas prices, right? But with Cautious over here is going to make fun, but he knows that my tickets are $8 when he goes to the movie. It's $15 a ticket. That's a kid price. That's
whoa. We're gonna have to check your wallet, see if you got enough money to come into this theater.
Right. So I mean, at that point, even if I spend $8 a ticket, so I'm $16 for my kids right there, and then it $10 a ticket for me and the wife, so that's another $20 right there. That's a matinee prices, give or take. So I'm already past the 30 mark, and then they want lemonade, and they want popcorn, and he might want ice. It's
popcorn sodas for a family of 4 will run you $60, $70, $30 really isn't that bad a price. It's true.
I mean, yes, I have to buy the popcorn.
It's funny hearing you make this argument because you always talk about the movie theater experience. When
I
I'm
do.
like, I don't like being
it.
around people. They make noise. They open their phones. People are jerks. I don't want to be in a theater, so I almost never do the theater experience. And you're all like, oh, but like it's.
I want to just have the option.
No,
right?
no, I totally get it. Plus, you have like a 200-inch TV with surround sound. Right? It's not like your experience is at all limiting.
Right.
So we just watched on Netflix. There's a Chinese movie they released, big budget Chinese movie called Double Worlds. It's based on a video game, huge big budget movie, really good CGI, all this crazy stuff. And at one point during the film, on our tiny 50-inch or 40-inch HD TV, we turned to each other. We're like, "This is a movie we should have watched on the big screen." Right? There totally is now movies that you can tell, even when you're streaming them, that you need a big screen for it. Right? So now Casa de Cautious is going to be investing into a theater system soon, Joe. So you should be excited for that. All right. And then maybe I'll buy these movies. I don't think I'm going to buy any live action Disney films, as I don't know the value of them, but I am intrigued by the idea of paying for movies first run.
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks after they've come out.
Well, I bought it, right? Like I bought Scoob.
That's right, you did.
I bought it straight up. I bought Onward. Like I bought it. I just paid the money and bought it, and now it's in my library. But I paid the $20 or $29 or whatever that it cost me from iTunes or whatever, and I own it. But I gave them my money. It's no different than they would have gotten the DVD or the Blu-ray sales.
That's true, but I don't do that either. But yes, I'm with you. For someone like me that has no kids, $30 steep for a first run movie rolls. You're right. It's still cheaper for you to go to the theater and watch it yourself. It totally is. I mean, you have to invest in the TV.
I'm gonna
invest in the service.
I'm gonna razz you a little, Rolls. I'm like, who goes to the movie by themselves?
I do.
You know what? You don't count, Jordan. You would leave your wife and kid at home to go to the movie on your own. I know you. Look at this. I have left the wife at home.
There you go. There you go, sibling streamer. I've left the wife at home. I mean, you have to when you're with your girlfriend, right? It's weird. It's weird.
You're right. Zombie, I agree with you. As someone that worked in the movie theater industry for many years, there is no replicating movie theater popcorn. It doesn't matter. It is the size of the machine. It is industry. The butter.
It's the fact that the kernels were stored in the back of the theater 10,000 years ago.
I find
I like movie theater popcorn. Right, it's part of the movie theater experience for sure. You're totally right. No. And they're probably bigger buckets in Texas, right?
You back up your pickup truck.
You back up your pickup truck. Of course you do. Of course you do.
We throw a whole cow under the fire.
It's like a 60-year-old with a shovel and a hat.
Yep, pretty much.
I love it. I love it.
You're right. You're right, Rose. You travel, and sometimes you want to go to a movie.
When I used to travel for work, I used to go to the movie theaters by myself all the time. Almost every city I've been in, I would go to a movie theater.
I won't lie. I'm only razzing you. There is a guilty pleasure in like going to see a movie that maybe your significant other might not want to go see, but you're going to go watch it as a first run, movie going.
Yeah, but you get the seat you want. You didn't give it to the person you're with because you're a nice guy, right? You get the perfect seat, got the perfect popcorn. You got to share the armrest with anybody. Like there's a lot of
seat. There's never two when it's full. Right? Exactly. There's always that one because the guys do the because guys don't like sit next to each other, apparently, right? Like it's the
guys don't sit next to each other.
The toxic masculinity. Like, it's.
We need some space between us. We need some space.
I got a man spread.
I just need space for all my stuff. I don't like anyone near me, for the record.
Well, nowadays it's still social distancing.
That's social distancing, right? Maintain it, everybody. We're on the home stretch. If we could just get through this hard part right here. The hardest part is the end, right?
It's just started.
The last 10%.
Texas was like, what? What? We're doing it again? Round 2. It's another round.
It's the worst. Yes. Popcorn bucket joke about seeing a movie yourself here. Very good. Very good.
Did you cut the... never mind.
Stop.
Yeah, I know, right? That's
Was I
right.
being optimistic?
Yeah, it's
Sarcastic. I think I was being sarcastic. There is a fine line, well delivered for the creators and the entertainers out there. You got to do it that way. What else we got?
We're a little past the halfway point here on their show. There was a yeah. Oh, by the way, let's bring that up. Yes, Bill and Ted. That's another movie that's going to be on demand day one. So this is a different model. This one isn't
like September. When was this coming out?
September. This is coming out September. Can you scroll down for me, real quick? It's coming out. It's going to be on September. Yeah, September 1st. So less than a month away. I
can't believe it's already August. It's so wow. All right.
Getting a double it. The release will be just the price of the movie, which I think is going to be like $15.99 or $16.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a pretty good deal.
Do you think this is going to be like an event?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I want this model to succeed. I want to have the option. If it's a multi-million-dollar movie, I think the video at home, the VOD should be the movie that doesn't need the multi-million in like theater buyback, right? Like that, like big investment. I like mediocre movies, and we've talked about this before. We don't get the middle of the road movie anymore. Everything has to make $1 billion or it sucks.
Yep. And that's why I've been watching like weird international movies, because I'm looking for I'm looking for the cheese. I'm looking for that schmaltzy sort of like middle bad movie role where they're not trying as hard as like the Avengers, or they're trying to be Avengers.
Right. Maybe I
felt like this was the studio not having much faith in Bill and Ted from roles.
I can see that, but I'm going to take the other side, is where they're more along the lines of going, you know what? No one is brave enough to do it, and Keanu brings people in. Like, he's a hot commodity right now. Everyone loves Keanu. He's like a patron saint for people right now. Like,
by all accounts, he seems like a real good guy.
Yeah, by all accounts,
centered spirit.
Yeah, right. So people like him. So I think if anyone goes, hey, that Bill and Ted movie, the new Keanu movie's out, they might just purchase it, and it will make good money. I mean, Trolls World Tour did the same thing earlier in the pandemic scenario here, and it made a crap ton of money for a sequel.
Yeah, got it.
So I don't know. We'll see. I think this is Universal that's doing this as well. So Universal did Trolls World Tour, so I don't see them. They're probably going, you know what? They made good money.
I think also there's and Rose touches on it here, right? Where Bill and Ted and Mulan could just be a reflection of it being 2020 studios just taking the L, right? I think the concept here is that these studios have inventory. They've made the movies.
Yeah, they're sitting.
And these movies aren't making money, right? So they've got to do something where they just going to be like, we've spent all this money. It's all sunk cost. Let's see if we can recoup some of it. And also test the markets, right? Because once theaters open and once we all feel confident enough to go back out, there's going to be a big old, people are going to go out. They're going to be desperate for these entertainment. I think
I'm not cleaning my kitchen. I'm going to clean the kitchen, and I'm not going to eat there for a week.
You go pick up your food a lot, though, right? It's not like you haven't been doing restaurant food.
We do. Like I've been picking up the local stuff, but like I told the wife this yesterday. I go, love, when all this is over, if it ever comes over, I want to go sit down at a Chili's. And she was like, "What?" I'm like, "Hear me out here. I've given a lot of money to local places, local burger places, whatever. I want to go to like mass manufactured like margaritas and like boneless wings and like I don't know.
Can we get the capitalism banner up
here? It's right. It's killing me. It's killing my heart, baby. I don't know. Like, let's go get kicked out of an Applebee's. I don't know. I don't know.
It's terrible.
Just something about it. Like, Chili's isn't great food. It's not the worst out of the franchise ones. I just think like
you're gonna go for the Chili's to Dave and Buster's is what you're gonna do.
Chili's to Dave and Buster's, or maybe Denny's to Dave and Buster's, or I don't know.
I think I might go to a ball game, and I haven't been to a ball game in forever. Right? Like it's just one of those things, like all these little tiny things that we took for granted. Right? Like the week, I'll go to a ball game at any point now. It's something I want to do. Right?
So, since we're still in the movie topic, my producer brought this up, and hot take. I haven't read the story, but I want to bring it up on stream here. This is going to be interesting. So he's been dead. He's beyond the grave.
I saw this headline. I was like, I don't understand. How is this? All right.
So apparently, final project. He'd been working on it, and Yeah, apparently this is supposed to be like the movie that ties all of the movies together.
I don't need this.
That's what I said. That's what I said to our producer. I was like, I don't. The final version of The Living Dead is a big new 700 pages long. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
So this is a book that then gets to be a movie, or is it just a book?
I don't know, man.
I mean, I'm all for more zombie films, right? Because I don't feel like we make enough zombie things. I feel like there isn't.
Really? Were you around?
Like even Brazil has made a zombie thing, right? Like it's just zombie things. Why not?
No, is that the virus changing there?
Is it? Oh
no.
Wait. Did I hear that right? Were you making a COVID joke?
I'm making a COVID joke. I'm sorry.
Too soon. Yeah, come on. So that's a book. All right. So it's a book. I can get behind it. So what's just happened here? All right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
If it's a book, okay, sure. But this could be just as bad or good as some of the later, what is it? The later Tolkien stuff. You know, the Tolkien
stuff, the late Dune stuff that wasn't very good. Sorry, the authors, but it wasn't very good.
It was very good.
Star Wars stuff, some of the Star Wars outer universe stuff, the universe
stuff.
Was always
later on into it got really weird.
Some of the Halo books aren't very good, as by all accounts, right? So I don't know, man. I sometimes I wonder, like the zombie metaphor has lost some meaning where it is. Like, what does it mean to keep making this zombie movie over and over again in American cinema, or write these zombie books over and over again? I'm just curious.
We're fascinated, right? We're fascinated with it. I'm kind of surprised that with the pandemic and all of that, but we're not seeing kind of a resurgence
audience for it, right? But I guess
we're burnt out on it, right? Like we got it for so many years. For like 10 years, it was nothing but zombie stuff everywhere. I mean, from comic books like Marvel Zombies, and everyone had a zombie like Ultimate Universe, and everyone had kind of a zombie short story, and then we had like I Am Legend and World War Z and the Walking Dead comic, on and on and on and on. And then we've got a pandemic. This is like, no one wants to deal with it anymore. We're done.
So you mentioned this sibling streamer, right? And COVID-19 has proved so many zombie movies wrong. I mean, I'd argue that it didn't, right? It's not ever the zombies. It's always the people you're surviving with, right? So those zombie movies, those survivors could last forever in the mall. They could live forever on the boat. But there's always some jackass that ruins it. And that's what we have today. We've got the jackasses who are ruining it, right?
And just like every zombie movie, there's always that one human character that messes it all up. But was it, what's the Dawn of the Dead, the remake one? It's always the humans that mess it all up for the zombies. Like
always, it's always the humans. Always, even The Walking Dead. If you kept up with the series, it's always the humans. Eventually, the zombies aren't even a thing. Like
they're just background.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I stand on that. We'll see where we go.
Great. I'm happy folks are creating in the universe. I'm happy they're writing more zombie books. Great. I'm surprised George Romero is getting credit for anything years after his death. Right. That's the part where I'm like, oh, all right. I guess you could be involved in that. But there we go.
So I'm going to bring this up real quick, just because this is a story that I haven't fully read, and but
always dangerous.
Always dangerous. But I think it's the headline alone makes me want to talk about it, because we talked about this when it launched.
Wait, what? Is it having trouble now?
No. I mean, it's not. It's definitely not pulling in the numbers anymore. Of course.
Oh, all right. Everyone tried it for a while.
Yeah, everyone's like, we played it. Maybe we don't need to do this. Maybe this. So, reader, I regret to inform you that World of Warcraft Classic's early game is now dead and buried. I'm just like, we don't need to go home again. Right, like,
yeah. I mean, there's a nostalgic right feeling of wanting to play old games. Is why you retro game, right? And it's one of those games that you can't retro because you need to be in a party. You need to.
You mean you don't want to save the economy?
And
it's about the economy.
Retro gaming in this economy.
It's all about the economic factor of the galaxy.
Yeah, no, that's right. And so, yeah, you know what you can't retro. Wait. Nice. There we go. There we go. Yes.
Is this? Have we moved on from GoldenEye? You know, the one retro game that we talk about every episode. Which, by the way, Odd Job is
cheating, and that's the kind of retro game you want to play, right? But I don't know. I mean, like, I think it lasted exactly how long it should have lasted, which is we've all gone back and downloaded a game that we'd love to play, and about a couple months or a year later, we stop playing it again just because it's not. It's never going to be as good as when you first played.
There is a reason games evolve and get patched for better. Yep. It's called quality of life. QOL, baby. We do it for everything. It's like oh, you know what? I'm nostalgic for this game. Let me go ahead and reinstall Windows 98 real quick.
Do you not miss gaming with 39 strangers to defeat Blackwing Lair after an hour and a half of trying to pull the raid together? You don't miss that? Is that something you don't miss?
I think people still do that though. Like, don't people still raid that same way? Like, aren't raids still boring? Like,
I mean, they're not 40 people, right? It's 10 and 25. But yeah, I mean, it was a struggle. I remember the first time we did it, and we were just carried through by a guild who had mastered it, right? So, it's good for them. I'm glad Blizzard did it. It's a shame they don't pay their employees. Shots fired, right?
Oh, shots fired. Yeah, that was that. Thank you for bringing that one up. Talk about.
You don't think it's gotta be bad if you're passing around a freaking spreadsheet with your salaries, right? That is cuckoo bananas. That is on a Slack channel where you're like, "Hey, everybody, why don't you just fill out your salaries?" And someone out of the CEO, I guess their salary got put in the spreadsheet as well. Like it's pretty bitter over there, I guess.
Boasted record results.
Yep.
I wonder why. Everyone's stuck at home. Oh,
yes.
Man.
Yeah. There you go, Blizzard. Pay your employees some money, right? Let's raise the water instead of making your boat bigger. Let's go.
Can we talk about this guy, Bobby Kotick? That guy, biggest jerk. Biggest jerk.
I mean, he's got some competition over Ubisoft, right? So you gotta,
that's true.
Throw them all in the Thunderdome and let them fight it out for biggest.
Kotick made $33 million in 2016, over 300 times the average employee,
which is about today's standard, right? I think most companies pay their CEO 300 times, and that probably doesn't count like stock options and all the other bonuses and
of course not,
pay and all that good stuff. So yeah, capitalism is killing us, killing them, killing the producers of games. Literally is killing us in the streets, right? It's terrible and awful. But we do love video games, and we do love talking about them. And of course, I'm going to be kickstarting that Dwarven Forge as soon as it drops. That's what it's all about.
So what are you playing right now, man?
What am I playing right now? Division 2, I've been really rocking that. They had sort of an overlap of a bunch of season events that I had to close out. Which is always fun to play multiplayer on that as well. And then solo play, I don't know. I've been bouncing back and forth. I haven't really been feeling any games. I've been trying out a lot of different ones. Occasionally jumping into Coffee Talk, which I'm moving really slowly through. I need to actually focus and beat it. And then Civ 6, I've been trying to figure out how to play the new classes because they play very differently from all the other ones. And I'm terrible apparently at the new ones in Rise of whatever it is, the Gathering Storm, the weather one. So that's it, man. I beat Overland. I beat it like 4 or 5 times. So that was a fun one. That was the indie game. So sibling streamer, yes, I am playing indie games. I played Overland, which is great. I played Carrion, which is great. I've been reading Savage World, the role-playing game, which is great as well. Interesting role-playing game as I'm looking for a substitute for D&D that still gives me the miniatures, and Savage Worlds might be the one I go with. But I still have to get my head around the rule set because it's very different from D&D. And then here is Fantasy Violence. What are we watching?
So this is the game that I've been playing this week.
Panzer Paladin.
So I got to play this at PAX 2 years ago.
The weapon-smashing action platformer game with intuitive swordplay.
We talk about the retro style quite often, almost getting overly done. And this game is just satisfying. Good, satisfying.
I remember the demo being really easy. But it's like a Metrovania.
Over 100 melee weapons to seize from enemies.
It's like Mega Man mixed with Master Blaster, mixed with a little bit of
In a hurry,
Castlevania.
set or slice a world
So there's
record
like
in the
boss
speedrun
boss
mode.
runs, kind of like Mega Man. So each level is a different boss.
Slash, bash,
Weapon
and thrust your
upgrades, a
way
little bit of
through
like
17
DuckTales too.
mind-blowing levels.
There you go, and that's on the
located
Switch.
around the
It's on the
world.
Switch and it's on PC, and it will be launching on Xbox soon.
Nice.
For sure.
Panzer Paladin, available now on Nintendo
ridiculous
Switch.
It's a ridiculous thing.
Yeah, so we got to play that at PAX East again. It's always nice when a game that we played maybe 2-3 years ago on the show floor.
Well, I think we played it at this PAX.
Yeah, I played it at this PAX, definitely. And then, but I did play it even 2 PAXs ago. I remember it being even a smaller booth.
Oh
And
wow!
So,
All right,
I was like, so when it came out, I was like, oh man, here we go. Here's a game. Like here's this thing. I saw it in its infancy. It's great. Now it's fly, and then it's doing good.
Played. There you go.
It's doing great,
It's
and
fantastic.
the reviews are saying good stuff about it. They're saying it's the review throwback I needed this summer, and it's a pretty cool looking game, and I'm enjoying it. So it's
Awesome.
a cheap game. It's like $14.99.
Good price for a retro game.
Yep.
Cheaper than the $1,200 analog Game Boy.
Yeah, well, $199.
And yes, folks out there, play more indie games, both role-playing games, tabletop games, video games. Play those indie games.
So speaking of indie games, real quick, we talked about the Itch.io bundle here, and where is it here? I'm trying to figure out the website so I can show it off real quick. So yeah, we've got here we go. He pulled it up for me. So here's randombundlegame.com. It is essentially, it takes all of the items from the Itch.io bundle, which we talked about, which have like almost 2,000 games, and it randomly picks something for you, and then it tells you about it, and
you can play it, or enjoy it,
or pick something else. But there you go. It's like if that list is so overwhelming,
it's like poorly organized. Like you can't sort it or get categories. Like
someone did it for you. Like, what are you looking for? Are you looking for
It's fantastic.
Are you looking for an asset? Are you
Oh, that's great. You can do a role-playing game. You can figure out where to go from there. That's awesome.
Exclude action games, but make it
Jousting?
No. Let's remove action there. Remove action. I just want all platformers. Pick a platformer for me.
100.
There we go.
You can play Daydream.
And
And it looks as indie as can be. Daydream more for the record.
Silver
That's
graphic.
good. So yeah, this is a nice way to get through it. I feel like all I would want to do is keep hitting roulette until I saw something that I wanted to play or my time was up, right? This is the way I always it's like always what happens to me on these kind of randomizers. I'm like, oh, I don't want to play that. I'll hit this button one more time.
It's button.
And then it becomes its own game.
I should be getting my physical copy of Untitled Goose sometime soon. I
can't wait. Are you going to hold on to it and unbox it on our show? This way
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I want the little map. I'm going to frame the little map. It comes with a little map. I like it. This is fantastic.
Where are you going to put it in that office?
There's a spot. There's a spot right there. There's a blank spot right there.
Or you're just going to unbelievable.
Let's see if I can if it lets me do this. I have
I talk. Look at my blank walls. Oh my gosh. There you go. Oh, you can put it under your desk, right there, under your desk. There
that's
you go.
the full wide angle view of the.
Oh my gosh, that room is crazy. I love it.
Yeah, there's I've got my big stick over here with the dual play. I've got the arcade system.
You've got one. It looks like you've got like 7 different arcade sticks in that room. Is that one? Two?
Yeah, at least.
That is amazing.
Yeah, so there's 4 right there. Then there's 1 taken apart there, and then there's 3 over here. 1, 2, 3, what? And then there's a double one right here. So 2. So that's 2 technically. That's all. That one right there is 2 and 1. That's
What's
2,
a hobby
3,
for you, man? That is.
Yeah,
I've got a workstation and then a giant messy table back there I haven't cleaned.
Yeah, but let's talk about the Dwarven Forge. We're getting ready to dump more money into that Dwarven Forge.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna need to find space before I dump money into that Dwarven Forge, and I'm dumping money into the Dwarven Forge. I'm crazy. Oh, all right, folks. We're at an hour. Don't forget to like us, subscribe, share us if you feel so inclined.
I enjoy it. It's great. Once a week, I get to talk to a bunch of buddies. You guys are all my friends. I miss every one of you, but let's
safe travels to those who travel. Right, be kind, be safe. Be patient. We're all short-tempered nowadays.
This Thursday, if you're not paying attention, I'm gonna get this right.
This Thursday.
Let's make sure I get it right.
Well, thanks for joining, Rolls. It's always great to have you chit chat with us.
It looks like again we've been talking about this new age console war, and this Thursday, don't forget, where we're getting a state of play. It'll be a 40-minute state of play of for PlayStation. Talking about.
I can't wait for the PowerPoint slides. It's going to be amazing. It's by Sony, right? Which means it's going to be.
The episode is weighing in at 40 minutes, so no one knows. There is rumors that pre-orders for the PlayStation 5 and price will get dropped at this state of play. So
I hope it's by the guy who did the initial hardware discussion, because
Mark Cerny, chief engineer for Sony, he should come back out there and talk about SSDs and the speed.
Yep.
That's exactly
39 minutes of
the PowerPoint slide, and then a bunch of infographics about how fast
going into things. And going
I really wish they had just someone needs to do that, re-upload that whole thing, but with snarky comments like more fast power, this means it's faster.
Couldn't you have made the logo bigger? What's happening here? Good stuff, fellas. Everyone watching, thanks for jumping on.
Yeah, everyone. Thanks, everyone. Thanks.
This has been episode 87. Although
87, not 37.
I think last week was 88. I don't know. Maybe I've lost track.
86.
86. There we go.
I saw 86. I typed in 87, and then somehow it said 37. I missed half the 8.
Let's get
it together.
Our producer should have caught that, though. We'll have a talk with him after the show. Thanks to our producer.
Love you. Episode 87 in the can.
In the can. We can't.